You are now tuned in to the Windy City Benders podcast. This is WCBP.
All right, welcome to another edition of the Windy City Benders podcast, episode 113. It's officially a rebuild.
It's officially the rebuild. The plan is out.
Plan is out. The Stan plan is set in motion. And for anybody that knows how much I hate Stan Bowman, you're going to be shocked this episode. Not shocked, surprised. I think.
For sure.
I think. But with me, as usual, is Tanner. Tanner, how are you, bud?
Fantastic. You know, just one tooth lighter. Had to get a tooth pulled, so I'm just hanging out with a hole in my gums. It's pretty great.
Spit in chiclets, but nothing you can see.
Yeah, it sucks.
So, so it's like not a lot of news, but also a lot of news at the same time.
I think the biggest news there is right now is Avalanche renamed their home arena. They're no longer the Pepsi Arena. It's now the Ball Arena. That's it. It's like the Mason jars, the Ball brand. You guys know what I'm talking about? That's who bought the naming rights to the arena.
I had no idea what he was talking about. I thought he was talking when he said, "Oh, you know, the glasses," and I thought he was talking about glasses, and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
For your eyes.
Yeah, for your eyes, man. Yeah. So there was that, and then there's a little tiny email that got sent out to Blackhawks season ticket holders.
Yeah. Huge.
Yeah. All it really basically said was that the Hawks are officially rebuilding.
Kind of. It's the Hawks are going younger. That's what it is. Because a full rebuild would be tearing it down, getting rid of Taze, getting rid of Keith, getting rid of Kane. Can't get rid of Seabrook unless you package him with Kane somewhere, and then it's like, here, take this $17 million. But yeah, no, it's somewhat a rebuild, but it's going younger and focusing on youth. Like, they're not signing like 28, 29, 30-year-old like veterans to come in on the team right now.
It definitely was a good. It was not the email was. It was kind of like no shit. Like, we could kind of tell this by not bringing Crawford, trading Saad, and all this kind of stuff. But, so basically a quick part of it, we're committed to developing young players and rebuilding our roster. We want more than another window to win. We want to reach the summit again and stay there. An effort that will require a stockpile of emerging talent to complement our top players. The influx of youth and their progression will provide roster flexibility and depth throughout our lineup.
Yep.
So
this is Hawks talk, by the way.
Yeah, Hawks.
Hey, we're already in it.
Yeah. So it's like, even when that letter first came out, it still kind of was like, okay, cool. You can say you're going young, you can do all this, but like, you know, what's the mindset? What's the game plan? Is Stan? I saw the question: is Stan still the one to do this? Like, how can you trust the person that put us in this situation? And there still was, I felt, for me personally, there was still a lot of questions when that email came out, because it was just like we said in our group chat, it was just kind of stating the obvious.
Yeah.
So what was actually surprisingly nice was that part of this rebuild, retool, whatever you want to call it, is that they want to be more open with the media and the fans about what they're doing. So Stan Bowman went on a little media tour.
Yeah, you hit up a few podcasts, but
I checked
our number.
Yeah, I checked my spam folder and everything. I must have missed it. So if you want to try again, Stan, we'll have you on. We'll be better than another Chicago podcast, but you know,
that's all right.
And he really did a good job of, I think. So we talked about our opinions of it. Let me ask you this, because this kind of just hit to me. Because we're really talking about the one that he did with Pat Boyle.
Yes. So I just want to mention, I listened to both podcasts that I would mainly want to find him on, which was Blackhawks Talk, which was with Pat Boyle and Charlie Rumelitis. Oh my God, Rumelitis. It's messing with my Rumelitis.
You just had a stroke there.
Yep.
Is that what I look like? Was that like me?
I'm blaming that on the fact that I'm missing a tooth and it couldn't roll out correctly. But I listened to their podcast, and then I also listened to the Powers and Laz, their podcast as well.
I didn't listen to that one.
And so in general, if you want to get like an actual listen in, they're very similar in the way that the podcast comes out in their hour-long interviews with Stan Bowman. So I'd say you can listen to either one. You kind of get the same answers in each one there. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting to kind of hear it and feel a little bit more at ease with like the decisions and like kind of understand them a bit more too.
Is it because it made sense what he was saying, or do you think that? And then do you also think though that they kind of saved him a little bit by kind of giving him the softball questions, or do you like? I'm just curious about that. Like, I think it was well done. I think you asked the questions without being confrontational about it. So it's some
like,
people
it's not like they went in there and being like, "Oh, do you think that you should be fired? And you think that you should be the one that leads this team back on a rebuild?" It's like he would just be like, "What the fuck, man?" Like,
yeah, I would love to see like someone push him a little bit, press him a little bit more, and maybe try to hold him accountable for some of the bad deals that he made. But for what this situation was, I think it was actually very, very well done. And like you said, how you said it put me at ease a little bit.
Yeah. I think one of the things too that like, even with all the hate and like frustrations towards Bowman, like I sent it to you in a text. I was like, it's very hard to find a GM that's been in a position as like him as long as he has and had the success that he has had. And then just try and find a GM like that as well and show me that they haven't made bad moves as well.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to make bad moves if you're in the position long enough. Like, it's just going to happen. We just tend to like harp on the bad moves because it's kind of been the bad moves that have lately sent us this direction. But
it's also
don't forget that there's the moves that were made that still got us 2 other cups after the first one, like in 2010. Like,
I think
those worked.
I think though too, it's that while every GM makes bad moves, makes bad decisions, there are a couple though that with Bowman that I don't know if it's just because we're not in the market of other teams and all that kind of stuff. It feels like when he's made a bad decision, it was a bad one, and it kind of like was a big red flag. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just because market bias, like because we absorb everything Blackhawks and we get the firsthand news.
Yeah,
and all that.
that's true. I mean, it's also hard if you're talking about like contracts, like you're dealing contracts. So like these Stanley Cup champions, like they're going to cost more than just somebody that made the playoffs and somebody that just did well on a team, on a non-playoff team. Like, you're going to have to pay your talent to stay on your team. And that's where we got handcuffed. And any other GM in that position probably is going to end up doing the same. Likely they maybe don't make the same trades, but I could see where he was going with like certain things, even though I disagreed with them.
Yeah.
But
I think the only one that I still would want to sit him down and I would love to hear like thought process and what happened was that Siebes contract.
Yeah,
like,
I mean that was definitely just a reward contract for sure.
Like,
I don't know.
That's paying a guy for what he did and not about his potential. Like that was just that's always one that no matter what, I love Siebes. I'm one of the best defensemen that we've ever had, and I will never say bad of him. And you can't blame him for going and getting paid when his time was up. But it's just like, Stan, what were you doing?
That term though, that's what kills me the most. Like I don't care. Like if it was fucking 5 years, we'd be out of this after next season. It's like it's not though, because it was 7, right? Wasn't it?
Yes, I think it was 7 or 8.
I'm pretty sure it was 7, and he was.
It might have been
like
7.
30.
Yeah,
and it was just like
he was 30 when he signed it, and that's what kills me too. It's like, why are you giving that term for that money with a no movement clause to somebody whose turn is in their 30s? Not like
also,
close to
and
turning 30.
he's not like a very agile player. Like he's very aggressive and he's very like on the body all the time. Like he's not going to just like age well at that point.
Yeah.
He's going to age more like milk and not like wine, like after 30. Like that's how it works.
It was an 8-year deal that he signed.
Oh, it was an 8-year deal.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's funny. But I think the two main points that I got that he kind of went over or brought it back to in each like interview was that it's mainly about asset management right now, and it's about cap flexibility for the future. It's the whole reason, like, when you got into like why he didn't sign Crawford. It's like he wanted to sign Crawford, but he knows that Crawford wanted 2 years, and they were like, we're really comfortable with giving you 1 year because like Crawford's not the goalie of the future for the Hawks.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're just getting Crawford again for 1 or 2 years, you're not giving anybody else a chance, and you're just slapping a Band-Aid on the situation that we've had basically a Band-Aid on for the past 2 years. And then if you don't sign Crawford, that also gives you more cap space. And he makes moves that gave us more cap space. And then there's deals coming off next year that are going to give us more cap space. And he wants to be one of those teams while the cap is like flat and teams are like really hard pressed to the cap. We are going to be in a really great place to utilize our cap space against other teams to take shitty contracts, get picks or prospects, and then build up a pool of players that can complement our young core of players. And I was just like, yeah, that's what we should be fucking doing. And I'm like glad we pulled the trigger on it. Kind of. It sucks to like not have Crawford, but
he also said, like
weird.
what he said more with that too. It's like he's not saying that they're not going to go after good players. He said that part of the reason Crawford wanted the 2 years that really turned them off was, say, a great young goalie becomes available that is attainable, and you got whatever Crawford was going to get locked up, and you don't have that move where you can't go and get him. As who knows if the goal of the future? I think I was talking with Potes the other day about this. I think both of Columbus's goalies are coming up.
Yeah.
So, like, not saying that they're our answer, but I'm saying there's two good young goalies that one possibly is going to reach market.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You wouldn't be able to go after him if you're locked down with Crawford.
I can pull it up real quick. I'm pretty sure that they're both done after this year.
Yeah, I just don't remember if they're UFAs or RFAs.
They're gonna be UFAs, I'm pretty sure, because I think they're. Oh, you know what? They might be 24 right now. Here I have it right here. They're gonna be UFAs. It's actually they have 2 years left, but Korpisalo is at 2.8 and Merzlikins at 4. And so, I mean, even if that's the case, though, too, like maybe there's another goalie next year. And if there isn't, it's fine. Like, we don't have to just try and fill that goalie void right away, like if we're trying to build up our players. But if one of those two comes available, like 2 years down the road, like they can honestly probably end up getting that kind of that cap that Crawford had, you know, that $6 million.
Yeah.
Like I could see like Korpisalo getting a $6 million deal and like, boom. Or you never know, we could fucking trade for one of them too, because they're both competing for a starting spot and somebody's going to try and fucking win it. And somebody's going to get pissed if they don't.
Yeah. And it kind of definitely, you question the whole thing too. I still, even with that being said and how much more that makes sense, like they're thinking with it, part of me is still I'm still extremely worried about the goalie competition. I still have flashbacks of what happened with Forsberg, and I'm still really worried, like, because he's saying that Subban, Lankinen, and wow, why am I blanking? Delia, they're going to be it's up for grabs. There's no favorites. He wouldn't even say who has the advantage right now. He says the only advantage out there is that Subban's played more NHL games. But he says that it's an open competition, and if Lankinen comes in and takes the ball and run, that's awesome. And it's his net. That's how it's going to be. I just still am worried that not having that veteran presence there to help him kind of lean on him, because I believe it was Pat Boyle that even asked. He was like, well, Crawford coming up had Turco to lean on.
Yeah.
Are you worried that these players don't have that? One of these goalies won't have that, and he didn't seem concerned about it.
Well, that's because the other thing that is less concerning is the fact that it's a goalie competition now, and it's not grooming Crawford to be the starter. It's each goalie is fighting to be the starter.
Right.
It's a completely different kind of setup. Like, I understand like wanting to have like the veteran presence to kind of groom someone, but you don't know who to groom. And like, that's why I really like the idea. It kind of like is reminiscent of when Darling got pulled up and when Crawford went down and it was him and Ranta, and then Darling was like, yeah, no, I'm actually going to be here to stay. And it's like, oh shit, like out of fucking nowhere. Like, there you go. Like, perfect. And like, that's the kind of situation we can have. It sucks because we didn't have that situation like a couple years ago when Crawford went down and it was just a shit show in net.
Yeah.
But I'm really hoping that's not going to be the case.
Do you think though that maybe once they establish who the guy is, that they maybe go out and see like maybe, oh, this guy's still a free agent, we could sign him cheap to kind of come in, and now we know what goalie we're trying to prepare and maybe bring in somebody? Or do you think that it's straight up these three guys, next man up, no matter what kind of thing?
I don't know, man. I think it's just these three guys. Like, somebody take the reins and fucking go, you know?
Yeah. I just that scares me. It really does.
I mean, it's
exciting.
It would be scary. It would be scarier if we were a fucking playoff bound team and that's what we were depending on.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm kind of liking the fact that like the goalies are kind of going in like with no pressure really, because like they're kind of seen as like not a starting goalie in the NHL, you know, like nobody's expecting them to play well. And it's kind of like, okay, well, I have all this pressure off my shoulders. All I have to do is just kind of play hockey, and like nobody's expecting me to do good. And it's like, okay, well, somebody can be very surprising. It's the same as like Elvis Merzlikins this year. That's what he actually brought it up to was Columbus. They lost Bobrovsky, and then they're like, everybody's like, oh, Columbus is gonna be garbage without Bobrovsky. Columbus is gonna be garbage without Duchesne. They're gonna be terrible without Dzingel. They're gonna be terrible without Panarin. Yeah. And then Columbus is like, fuck you, none of that. Like, we still have good players, and it's like, yeah, we do too.
And speaking of our good players, he also addressed the Taves going to the Athletic.
Yeah.
Voicing his displeasure, and Pat Boyle asked if he's talked to Taves about that, and he said that he's talked with all the veterans together. He said it's kind of the same situation. Why they're doing the media tour? They all got put the cards on the table, let them see what's going on, what the plan is. I think I don't know. I'm gonna assume he didn't say this, but I'm gonna assume he probably was like, listen, if you're in, you're in. If you're out, let me know. We'll do what we can.
Yeah, no, that's what he said. He got the feeling, or basically the players had let him know that they're still in here for this team.
Yeah.
They were upset with like not being notified of what the like direction of the team was going, but they're not leaving. They don't want to leave. They want to win another cup here. And he likes the fact that they want to stay because they like that leadership for this young core is so like huge and paramount for them. It's insane. Like,
no matter what, it's like either we win and Taves, Kane, Keith, probably not Keith. I don't think he'll be still around that time, but Taves and Kane, they get another cup. They get their name on another cup. Or worst case, they groom these young guys to bring up that next core. And
I can even see Taves and Kane even coming back as like part of the organization too. Like Taves could be a fucking coach.
I've always thought Taves would. I can see Taves being part of this organization in some sort of role more than Kane.
I think they're the next ambassadors of the team. They're the next Makita, Hall, and fucking Savard and everything. It's
Kane,
crazy.
Kane I see as a Bobby Hall.
Just going around rinks, getting hammered and signing autographs for $20.
Yeah. But like, yeah, like Taze, I can see him. I don't know about coaching, but I can see him working up like and being like a Yzerman.
Yeah, like a fucking GM.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, Bowman could fucking groom him into that. I wouldn't care. What was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, like they kind of threw a hypothetical at him too. They were like, if you get the feeling that, or like if the players, like one of those older core players, give you like a I want out kind of situation, like, how willing are you to accommodate that? And he's like, you know what, if it's up to them, like they want to be here, I don't even want to entertain that idea because they all like say that they want to be there. So I don't think that any of them are going to be moving unless like for some reason it just becomes a massive shit show and they're like, no, fuck this. Like, I don't think it's going to become Edmonton or Buffalo level, like garbage.
No,
like,
this feels very much like Ranger-esque.
Yeah, like if we can get lucky like the Rangers and fucking nail another like top 2, top 3 pick, like they got fucking 2 and then 1. It's like, oh man, and we just got 3. Like I still think Kirby Doc's gonna be better than Capo Caco too.
He had nothing but like amazing things to say about Kirby. He was like, oh, that's what I want to talk about. He is talking about how people were questioning and frustrated with why Kubalik was a healthy scratch, why Boquist wasn't up right away. And he says that the healthy scratch is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because especially with the type of players that these players are now, that they want to be better, they want to be good, but they need that direction. They need to be told, okay, this is what you did, this is what you need to do, basically.
Yeah. They need the guidance.
So he thinks that, and he said that, he goes, if you see a player being healthy scratched, more than likely it's because they need that time to kind of step back, look at everything, and reestablish themselves and get going. Hopefully it happens less than more times, but he goes, Kirby Doc's a freak. Kirby Doc just jumped into it, adapted, and was ready to go within like 4 months.
He was talking about development, and he was like, we wish that every player that we're looking to develop can develop like Kirby Doc, but we know that's not realistic. Yeah. It's like he went from basically an 18-year-old just coming into the NHL to being like, oh, this kid is like fucking NHL, like top tier. Like, you're going to see it. And what pisses me off the most is he's only a top 6 high in fucking NHL 21. Like, eat shit, dude. He's a top 3 pick, and you're not going to make him medium elite at least. Fuck off.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
It's so dumb. The other things that he talked about, unless you wanted to say anything else about Kirby.
No, he was just very much team Kirby, team like this is the guy. It pretty much, like, without saying it, it kind of felt like this is who the next core is going to be built around.
Yeah.
And
which I like.
Yeah. So
like he's going to be a first line center for sure, and just insane.
Yeah, I mean, maybe do you want to touch on the Boquist stuff?
Well, I'm going to touch on the Sod thing real quick.
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
So the whole like what we were questioning before was like, if you're looking to go younger, why are you trading Sod for just Zadorov? Like, that doesn't make any sense. It's 27 for 25. Like, that's so fucking stupid. But it's like, okay, you pull it back a little bit and you go, okay, they're not going to be able to retain Sod at all.
No,
there's no way. He's making $6 million already. He's going to probably get more than that, and they're not going to be able to get anything, or they're not going to be able to hold on to him after the season. And I was like, well, why not get picks? It's like, you don't really need to get picks for Sod. Okay, that's cool. Well, let's get why would we get to Zadorov? And then he goes, well, what everybody doesn't realize is everybody thinks that young players need to be really good when they're young, but defensemen tend to take a little bit longer to grow into their roles. And I was like, fucking A, he's right. It's like, God damn it. It's like, of course. And then they're like, and then we love his size. We love his tenacity. And all he's going to be able to do is help players like Mitchell and Boquist grow and evolve into their roles and feel more comfortable right away in the NHL at that level, or at the NHL level, because he's going to be out there with them, and then they can kind of take the reins on what they're specializing in, which is like offensive and moving the puck forward. And then he'll just he knows his role as a defensive guy, and he's not afraid to throw the body. Like, I'm ready for some Zadorov fucking blasts out there. Like,
he brought up a good point though too, that he's only 25, but he's already played 356 games.
That's so true too. Like, I was like, yeah, man, that's fucking right. He has played a shit ton of games. Like, he came into the league like 21, and that was with Buffalo.
Yeah. I've liked that. I really do like that pickup. It was like one of those things that, like what we originally said, it was just like for Saad, it should have got so much more and all that kind of stuff. But
it's everything we should. Every time we trade Saad, it's like we should have got more for either what we got him for or what we gave him for. Like,
it's always the same situation though. That's what's so funny. It's we're not gonna be able to retain him. All right, we'll flip him. So
yeah, I mean, I'm cool about it. And then the other thing he said too, with that move, it's kind of like now you bring in Matthias Janmark, and he's that two-way player that's going to fill that Saad role, like maybe like a not as great, but like still can play that defensive side like a little bit better than a lot of our forwards. And he on the interviews, you hear him just say like, what you got to realize is that it's not just a Saad for Zadorov trade. It's really a Saad for Zadorov and Janmark, because it gave us the flexibility, the cap flexibility that he keeps bringing up to sign somebody like him and fill it in. So it's kind of like, okay, like I like the way you put it, like of course, but I wish you didn't do it.
Yeah.
Like at least get a third.
So Saad was $6 million. The only thing that I always forget about this, and now I'm looking at cap friendly. Not a big deal like always, but
yeah, right.
I was like, oh well, that was good. You know, we got two players for essentially Saad's salary cap hit, whatever, like a Saad type player and a good defenseman. Yeah. But nope, there's still $1 million that we're retaining from Saad.
Yeah, which I mean, it's
only 1 year, but
so
yeah, but
we have the cap space.
It's always we're
not buyers at the deadline. We're fine.
Yeah,
that's the utilizing the cap space thing. I still don't understand why we had to retain that, unless like Colorado has tons of cap space, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know what
Colorado is just like, yeah, we're always going to make sure our cap space is like super good. So make sure you retain 100 or $1 million on that. It's like, yo, you got $6 million in cap space. It's like, yeah, but we wouldn't if you didn't retain $1 million.
And they only have 2 RFAs right now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't think they're going to like. Well, Saad's got. I don't know where he's going to end up next year, because I don't think they're going to have to be able to sign him.
No.
Because Gabriel Landeskog is going to need a deal. Kale McCarr is going to need a deal after this year. Oof. Yeah, they're not going to be able to sign Saad.
Yeah.
Devin Tays doesn't even have a deal yet?
No.
They traded for him?
No, he's a RFA, arbitration.
Grubauer. I don't know. Maybe they work something out and they can sign him, or he just goes. I fucking swear to God, I have the worst feeling in the world that he's going to go to Boston.
Who?
Saad.
Oh God, that's who originally.
I can see him in Pittsburgh though.
Yeah. Hometown.
That's where he's from. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how Boston always fucking pulls it off.
It's okay. Boston doesn't have anybody on defense, so it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, and then so speaking of defense, the Boquist comments too, which was really interesting, that they actually felt – so Boquist Mitchell comments, they felt that Ian Mitchell is more of an NHL-ready defenseman than Boquist was, and that they were ready to roll with him, but he decided to go back to college.
Yeah.
That got me very happy, very excited.
If Mitchell's looking to be more NHL ready than Boquist was, it's like, yes, let's slot them in.
Yeah, like –
and he mentioned all the young defensemen too, that like Alec Regula and like what was it, Wyatt Kalynuk and Bowden, and it's just like, yeah, whoever can fucking step up, like, let's go. This is the youth movement time. So
it just sucks because there's possibly 2 spots going to be taken up by older guys. That
if they
you need them. Yeah, you need them. I still don't think Seeds plays again.
Honestly, if he does, I hope he looks great.
I just
want Seabrook to look fucking like 5 years younger.
I mean, he was looking good in the training camp for the bubbles, so
yeah,
we'll see how that goes.
A big old bear.
Yeah.
I think do you have anything else from the interviews at all?
No, I mean
that's kind of like the gist I got.
Yeah, it's just kind of like the one thing that I really liked that he said was, like, they did kind of take accountability. He goes, we don't get everything right. We recognize that, but we certainly need to get more right than wrong. And when we do that, I think you'll see that we're working together to build this back, and that's our goal. We want to win. We want to bring great hockey back to the fans. That they've been tremendous to us over these years. We want to make this exciting. So I think that's part of it. We owe it to everyone to be more open, and that's part of the goal. So I do like the idea that they realize they fucked up. I like that they are open to being open, and I really hope that it kind of turns into like a weekly thing, like, or not a weekly, but like
send the newsletter out. Let us know what's going on.
No, or even like if he sits down with like Pat Boyle on the Hots Talk and all that kind of stuff, and just kind of be like, hey, because I mean, how Quinville Quinville used to have like a weekly spot on one of the AM radio shows.
Oh, really?
Where he calls in and he just kind of gives like, here's the state of like my team and all this kind of stuff.
That's pretty neat.
It'd be kind of cool hearing that from a GM.
I never listened to that. I don't wake up in the morning at that time.
Yeah, but
I think one of the other things actually I just wanted to mention was when Bowman was talking about how like they're doing things for the future of the team. It's like everybody wants to do as much as they can to do everything right now, but it's like you got to realize at some point in the future, like Keith's not going to be here, Kane's not going to be here, Taves not going to be here, and Bowman's not going to be here, and you got to make sure that the team is going to be looking good going forward when all of them are gone. And
the way he actually said it too, he goes, the Blackhawks are going to outlive everybody that's here right now. So it's important to keep that name strong.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like that. Like,
like every team has their ups and downs. And like a lot of the teams that have their ups right now that like, I don't know, Pittsburgh and Washington, like they're going to fucking have some downs, and they're going to like, it's going to be just like us. And hopefully we're on the up by the time they're on the way down, which is sooner rather than later, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. And it's hopefully the main thing is it just doesn't go back to what we refer to on the show as the dark ages.
Yeah.
At 90, what was it, 95?
It was like early 2000s
to
mid 2000s,
95 to like 2000, and then 2002 to 90 or 2009, like when we started like winning again.
Oh yeah,
like
2008 was like
2008 was the surprise year. So about 2007, that going into that 2008-2009 season, it was dog shit hockey, and it was a long period of time, and I'm too old to go through another like stretch of hockey like that
where we don't pay anybody and we just
so overall, I mean, the media tour I think was great. He said the right things. He laid out the plan very nicely. Now the main question, and I said this to you when we were texting back and forth, is do we believe that he can actually stick to this plan and actually follow through and make this happen? And I think for me personally, that's what he needs. He needs to prove that he can, and that it's going to take a while. It's not going to be like, okay, start of the season, let's see, is the plan working type of thing. It's going to be a long wait to see what happens. But he won me over a little bit with this. I mean, hell froze over a little bit because I'm saying that. But
I mean, I think I said to you during that text, I was just like, I've never hated or loved Bowman. I've always just been like, all right. All right, sounds good. All right, that's dumb. Like it's like I've never been like extremely frustrated with him. So
yeah,
I did enjoy the just like the whole interviews and everything. It put me at ease, like I said when we started.
Got everybody off the ledge a little bit, calm down. But like I said, it's all talk until now we have to see action and just see how it plays off. And if you truly love this team and you truly want to see them be good, you're gonna have to just be patient. It's not coming overnight. You're gonna have to suffer through probably, I want to say at least probably two bad seasons. Maybe one bad and one like.
You'll know when you can stop suffering is when we find out what our goalie situation's like.
Yeah. Once they have more for sure to said on that.
Because I mean our defense prospects and our forward prospects going forward, like these young guys that are 24 and under, like they should be able to step up and be pretty good for at least the next 8 years, like 10 years maybe.
Oh, one thing he did say on another podcast that I will not say because it infuriated me the entire episode, but he said one good thing was that he goes, basically, you're looking at, because this particular podcast was very upset about dealing Panarin and how, like, this doesn't make sense why you would trade him, blah, blah, blah. He's all, and all that. But he basically said, he goes, you have to look at some of these players that stick around on teams for long periods of time. They're usually your top 10 draft picks. They're usually your franchise player you find in the draft. Very rarely are these players that are sticking around for a long time late round draft picks or undrafted players. Those are the players that you pick up, you try to develop them, and when you realize they get to a point that you're not going to be able to retain them, you use them for their asset. It's like what you're going to get back in assets. So that was like another like really good point that I'm like, I think a lot of people that don't know the game and how like it actually is to build a roster. It's that, yeah, cool. Panarin would have been great on this team. Saad, cool. It would have been great to keep him around. But these players, you're not going to be able to have a team full of $10 million plus players.
No, this isn't NHL 21. You can't just turn the salary cap off and then you can turn trades on easy and just decide that you want to get 3 top 10 picks and keep everybody for 10 plus million. Not going to happen.
Yeah. So,
and like the thing is too, that like kind of goes along with that makes sense, is when you have somebody, you nail like a late round pick or an undrafted player and you can turn that into assets. It's like, that's free assets. Like
Shaw is the perfect example of that. He was a late round pick.
He's a 6th rounder.
Yeah, we couldn't afford to keep him. We flipped him for picks that turned into DeBrincat.
Yep.
And we were able to get – now obviously we were able to get Shaw back. But look, you turn Andrew Shaw to DeBrincat. That is a hell of a trade-off.
Yeah.
So you use the whole point of those late round, these depth position role guys – is to hope that they get good enough that you're able to go and get the assets you need to get that next player. It should always be like these players should always be used to be trading up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Use their value, man.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much it we're going to say on that.
That's pretty much it for Hawks talk, right?
Kinda. So friend of our show.
Oh.
Yeah. Frank from the Hockey Illuminati. First of all, Frank, because I have a feeling you're going to be listening to this. You're an asshole for posting up a little screenshot of the letter in the Instagram story saying, thank God it's about time. I hope they don't win another cup for 100 years. Fuck you. Just because your Leafs can't get past the first round or even get out of the qualifying round doesn't mean you got to attack us.
Yeah, it's getting worse.
Yeah. But
at least they make it to like the final game of each round.
So he does these. So on his page, on the Hockey Illuminati page, he does these rants and hypotheticals and all that kind of stuff. So after this news that the Hawks are in a rebuild, he says that if he was Kyle Dubas and he was playing the role of GM, he'd be picking the phone up, calling Stan Bowman, and being like, "Boom, you're rebuilding. I'll give you 2 young players. You give me Kane and Taves." The 2 young players that he proposed was Nylander and Marner. Oh, God.
I hate that trade.
I do too. Frank, if you're playing Kyle Dubas and I'm playing Stan Bowman or Tanner's playing Stan Bowman, I think we're blocking your number for the next like possible trade.
I mean, unless I don't know. Like the craziest thing and funniest thing to me too is like he also posted not too many days before that was like a rumor kind of post about what was going on in the bubble for Toronto and how like the young guys are just like fucking divas and they didn't give a shit about winning the games. They just like use it as like a vacation, and like how the coach is like a little baby back bitch and is like too afraid to say anything, and the players are too afraid to say anything. And I was just like, yeah, fuck that. Like Marner and Nylander are both named in that, and I don't need two fucking Nylanders to do that shit.
If
He
that's
even,
okay,
he even said they could be like little fairies and prance around and shit. And I was just like, no, why would we do that?
if that trade, so even if that considering that trade, you would have to take Alex Nylander back. Like, we're not keeping two. We're not keeping both the bum. You had to take at least one. What really blew my mind was reading the comments and the amount of I'm calling them simps because they were going off, that the amount of people saying that Mitch Marner is better than Patrick Kane. What fucking Kool-Aid are you guys drinking in fucking Toronto?
Yeah, what?
You even said how much better Kane's been over the last 2 seasons when he theoretically should be on a decline and Mitch Marner should be going up, and Kane is still blowing him out of the water in points.
Yeah. Kane's been doing it for years. Kane's still doing it. Kane's going to be doing it till he's like fucking 43, I swear to God. Like, we better keep him forever.
Those guys are retiring a Blackhawk. I think unless something disastrous happens with this retool, they're retiring a Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want a Corey Perry situation where he ends up like playing in Dallas.
Oh God!
All players go to Dallas to to retire and try and win a cup. Wait, no way! I wouldn't do that trade.
Do you have a counter offer for him?
No, I wouldn't. I don't want to give up Taves and Kane. Like, I know you can get assets for them, but like, I think their leadership is way more valuable than like some assets now.
Let's propose.
Plus, nobody's gonna be taking $20 million, like $21 million.
Yeah. Let's propose a trade for him then with involving he wants some veteran, some leadership. 2 and 7.
Keith.
Yeah, 2 and 7. He's going up to Toronto. We'll take 34.
Who the fuck is 34 in Toronto?
Matthews.
Oh, hell yeah, that's right. It's like Freddie Anderson.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'll flip you Muzzin for Keith.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would do that shit.
What's Muzzin making?
5. So he's making less than Keith.
No, Keith's
5.7.
Oh no shit! I thought
or like 5.5 or something like that. 5.625 is what Muzzin's making, and then you know what's great about the Hawks making these moves? They're not the top of cap friendly anymore.
I know you had to actually scroll down to find.
Okay, so Keith is making a little bit less. He's 5.5.
Yeah.
So we'd be paying a little bit more, but
we'll give you Siebes and we'll toss in like a couple draft picks, like
No.
late round draft picks.
We'll Keith for Muzzin action. We'll give you a 4th. You know, you need that veteran leadership back on the back end. You got nobody.
We'll take Jake, or how about Jake Campbell too? We'll toss in Jake Campbell for us.
Campbell
or Jack Campbell, yeah.
No, I don't want that.
No,
I don't want a 4 goalie fucking thing. I don't know. Like Aaron Dell, he's actually really good. Aaron Dell has like really good stats, and for some reason got signed to only an $800,000 contract. Don't know how, but
so
he had
I guess
1 off year. That was about it.
Yeah. So I guess at the end of the day, Frank, sorry, we can't make a deal. We can't come to terms. I don't know, man. You guys are just kind of fucked with those divas.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming the thing is, like, I could see it being like, yo, like, that's the way Patrick Kane kind of was, like, when he was a younger guy. But it's like, yeah, but he was still hungry as shit to win. Like, he was
putting up numbers
clutch.
still.
He was still clutch.
Yeah.
And he wanted to go out and party. Like, but he had the guys around him that would, like, put him in his place, like, when it was time to go on the ice. And then he's grown into, like, a much more mature, like, nasty fucking player. He's better than he was when he was, like, 26, and it's insane.
And I think Jumbo Joe had it up there. It's definitely gonna. I think that's going to help a little bit. I think that was a good move for them and very, very cheap. And worst comes to worst, you're going to get a couple picks for him at the deadline if need be. So, Frank, unless you got a better proposal, I think we're hypothetically declining that trade on you.
Shutting the door.
Yeah. So quick
like
other
Mitch
little.
Marner.
I know. I don't know why. Neither of them. I just can't. I wouldn't be able to get excited with those guys being on our team.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing. I think
I like Nylander a little bit more.
I do, but
I
also think he's extremely overrated.
Oh, he also wanted to toss Kerfoot in. No, we don't need him.
Yeah, we'll toss in Kerfoot to make the salary cap mess up. No.
No. That's fun. Good times.
Yeah, good time. Frank, if you want to come on and state your case a little bit better than the Instagram video, hit me up. We'll make it happen. But yeah, a couple other quick little notes around the league. Today they officially postponed the Winter Classic that was supposed to be between Minnesota and St. Louis at Target Field in Minnesota, and the All-Star game that was supposed to take place in Florida at the Panthers Arena. I don't know what town they're actually in. Sunrise, I think.
Yeah.
So, but those are both being postponed for at least 1 year, because when those events come back, they want to be able to have the fan experience, which makes 100% is 100% good. Makes sense. All that. I was thinking about that. Can you imagine an All-Star game with no fans, in the bubble?
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Now
they need to do two Winter Classics next year, 2 All-Star games next year. Just fucking get it going.
It's gonna be 6 Stadium Series games, and
yeah. The crazy thing to me right now is football stadiums have been having fans.
They've been having some. It's the
just do all the games outdoors.
There's talks
you can
about
have social distance.
Did you see that there was a rumor going? I don't know how legit it was, but there was talks that the NHL was looking into possibly doing opening day at that lake.
Yeah.
And I forgot what the lake was called.
I can't remember
it's
either.
Fucking awesome view, and I was like, dude, if they could make NHL, it was Mystery Alaska.
Is it mountainside or some shit?
Yeah. There's it's mountains in the background. It would have been literally would have been Mystery Alaska. Except it'd be NHL teams playing each other.
Yeah, it would be a lot more pond hockey though, because I don't even know how they would put boards up and glass and everything that they need.
It'd be
the
cool.
Logistics just don't add up,
It would be cool to do an exhibition game like that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice.
But also funny thing that came I saw today when I was going through hockey Reddit. Next week, the players will get paid for the first time since April.
Oh boy.
They're going to get 8.1% of their 2021 salary by Saturday. That's kind of crazy. I mean, not they're hurting or anything, but
right.
That's insane that they haven't been paid since April.
I mean, it sucks, but you make a lot of money.
Yeah. No.
You're about to make a lot of money again.
Cool. Then I
don't feel that bad.
There was a couple other little rumored stuff going around. First was the rumored 4th jerseys, that each NHL team's getting a 4th jersey for this upcoming season.
Yeah, which I think makes sense, because if you're not going to have fans, you got to find some way to create more revenue, and selling more jerseys makes sense.
There's been some cool ones, and there's been some Mighty Ducks, or not the Mighty Ducks. It technically would be the Mighty Ducks. Yeah. It's got the classic 3rd jersey of the goalie from the TV show jumping through the ice. Wild Wing, yeah, jumping through the ice.
Yeah. And
they're doing it orange instead of, was it purple or green last
It was teal.
Yeah. So it's going to be orange.
It was turquoise or something. No, it was a green. I don't know. It was a fucking green.
But
ugly as hell.
Yeah. But with that being said, I really hope that means you're going to see the LA Kings Burger King mascot jersey. You're going to see the New York Islanders Fisherman mascot.
Yes.
Who else had a really bad? Actually, I would love to see the St. Louis one with the trumpet.
Yes.
That would be great.
I want the Tampa Bay one with the storm that has like the dark water at the bottom and the lightning bolts on the sleeves. The Mooterus.
Oh God,
in Dallas.
Yes.
Then the ugly mustard cat in Nashville.
Can they do that though? Considering Vegas basically took that over for their actual third jersey, the ugly gold.
That's gold as shit, and that's shiny. It's not good.
It's like glitter too, almost.
Yeah, it's like it looked really nice when it was like an accent color on their jerseys and like an accent color on Buffalo's. That's when it looked awesome. But having the majority of the jersey be gold, too much.
Oh, speaking of Buffalo, what about like the red and black Buffalo head jersey?
Oh yeah,
for that, I had one of those. For the fourth one, that would be sick. I love those jerseys.
Yeah, the old just Buffalo head.
Yeah.
Fucking Vancouver with that wild V.
Oh yeah.
That'd be sweet.
No news on the Hawks yet. I'm assuming it'll just be some variation of the black.
Well, they'll just wear those really old whites with the number on the front and back.
That would actually be kind of sick.
That would be really stupid.
It would be cool.
I think it would look terrible.
Considering though that we'll never use them again, whatever.
I'm trying to think of like what other ones. Like, I mean, you can go completely. They're trying to do retro jerseys. Is that what it is?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, that's the theme. Like, what's Detroit? Vegas, oh, you'll lose a stripe.
Vegas was doing like one honoring like it was like a minor.
It was their minor league team. Yeah. Vegas, the Las Vegas Thunder.
Yeah. So I mean, it's but
whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm always jazzed up seeing jersey talk.
I like jerseys. You know, I love when people do mock-ups online. So if you ever see mock-ups online, fucking send them to me. Aesthetics.com
or .co. I don't remember what he's doing. That is an awesome site that he's in the know of like all the jerseys getting announced. He like always breaks it before it happens. And then he has like people that do mock-ups and they send it to their site and put it on there and then hold contests and all that kind of stuff. It's a really cool site. No free plugs, but hey, free plug there, bud.
Hey. Always free plugs. Scam friendly.
Then the other kind of like really, I mean, we kind of talked about the divisions. I mean, that kind of leaked a little bit. Basically,
same league still.
Basically, the Hawks are going to get just crammed up the dupa with between past two Stanley Cup champions and
Southeast, basically the old Southeast division.
Yeah,
plus Detroit and Columbus and Nashville, right?
Yeah.
So it was just Canada all together, and then Buffalo was just like, "Hey, we're better." Oh fuck.
We gotta play all the good ones.
We gotta play all the good Eastern Conference teams.
You think Taylor Hall is like, this isn't what I signed up for? No.
Trade me within this division, please.
You want my no trade list? It's every team that's not in this division.
Kind of big news. Doc Emrick is retiring.
Yeah. I mean, huge news.
Yeah.
That dude was the voice of hockey for 47. He did commentating for at the NHL level for 47 years.
Watched like some of the YouTube highlight films of him, just like his most iconic calls, and it's like chills like crazy.
Was it Blake Coleman that was like, I always wanted to have a Stanley Cup goal called by Doc Emrick? And it ends up
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he was saying he was tweeting out. He was like, I've always wanted, like, it was a dream of mine to have the Stanley Cup goal called by Doc Emrick, and it ended up being his last goal call ever.
No shit.
Was his goal? Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That's awesome. And then it's like now it's like you can't associate the Blackhawks cups without Doc Emrick.
Yeah.
Like I went back and I watched the 17-second. Oh, goosebumps! Like the Patrick Kane, like that was anticlimactic, but still, like.
Oh yeah,
he did his best to make it exciting.
I loved it.
But 22 Stanley Cup Finals he called, 6 Winter Olympics. He, on top of that, I don't know if he still did or when he stopped, but he also was the New Jersey Devils commentator for.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, for a long time. Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting to see who they decide to.
Yeah, I mean, even if like Eddie's going to keep doing it or not, because he's been looking to become a GM.
Yeah, he wants to get back in hockey ops, I think.
Yeah.
Bad. Yeah, I don't even know who. There's really nobody. Anybody but, what is it, Jack Edwards?
Oh, God.
That's the only guy that I do not want.
I'll fucking burn the TV.
You know how much it would suck to not be able to watch the Stanley Cup Final because fucking Jack Edwards is calling the game?
Can you imagine if he was calling the game on national TV and Boston was in it?
Do you know how he would be pro-Boston? How he would be pro-Boston calling a game when Boston's not even playing?
Yeah. You know, if Marchand was out there, you got in 2 minutes for that. He doesn't even sound like that. That's just fucking Boston. I fucking eat shit. Hey, if you're from Boston, that's all right. But if you play in Boston, fuck you. I don't like that team.
Boston's like, there's no reason for us to hate them as much as we do, but they put themselves in that position. I
think it's like everybody
to
does.
Themselves. Yeah. So I don't know. Anything else you think going on? I think we kind of like covered everything going on in hockey right now.
It's like the slow time of the season, which is funny because it's going to be probably the shortest slow time of the season. I mean, I'm still looking to see like where some of these free agents are going. Like,
yeah, Hoffman's still out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Granlund, Schneider, I thought was going to sign with Islanders. I don't know, Sami Vatanen, Galchenyuk. Like, there's some decent names, you know. I'm still surprised that Mike Hoffman hasn't signed. He scored almost 60 points last year. I wonder if he's just trying to like get a lot of deals and see who's going to pay the most.
I wonder if I thought the second Taylor Hall signed, it was going to be like a boom boom.
Yeah, let the dominoes fall a little bit.
Because I mean, once Taylor Hall signed, you know teams are going to be desperate for a goal scorer, so that's when he was gonna come in. So unless he's asking for just something stupid for the time,
he wants a Taylor Hall deal or some shit like 1 year, $8 million.
I'd give him 1 year, 7, 8. No, not 8, like 7 maybe at the most.
For us?
No, I'm like in general.
Oh, if like in general?
Yeah.
Let's see. Who has cap space? Islanders. Meh. Rangers already have so many left wingers. Panthers, he was just there. He might, I don't know, maybe they can get him back. Columbus, Nashville, those make sense.
Him and Columbus would be nuts. I like that fit.
Yeah, because I feel like they just need more goal scorers.
I feel like Columbus and Nashville try to clear up so much space.
What if the Sabres just went after him, though, too? Who else is their left wingers after Taylor Hall? Jeff Skinner, but he can play right side.
Yeah.
Zemgus Girgensons.
A power play with Eichel, Hall, Hoffman.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I bet you I'm going to say he goes back to Florida or he signs in Nashville or Columbus. I think those are the 3.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, all right. That's all I got.
Yeah, so make sure to follow us on all social, Instagram. I'm not even going to plug Twitter anymore because I've just given up trying to remember that we have that.
Dude, I never look at Twitter.
Yeah. Facebook, you like us on Facebook, but it's basically social media is now Instagram.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's basically it. So follow us on Instagram at WCBPodcast.
Or even on YouTube.
Yeah, subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I think we're on the new Google Podcasts. I have no fucking clue because I don't have an Android, so I don't give a shit about Google.
Oh.
Everybody's
I'll check.
Spotify is the way to go, honestly. It's the
Yeah.
easiest. Spotify is podcasting YouTube, and it is actually very awesome, and it's the best way to listen to your podcast. Listen to us first and then listen to the rest of your podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, leave a comment or subscribe, rate to us on Apple Podcasts and all that. Boost us up in the charts. Check out the website, WCBenders.com. Leave a riding pine question. Let's get some riding pines going because I think we're gonna need some time fillers.
Yeah.
And I will.
It doesn't even have to be hockey related.
No, let's fucking have some fun with it. Like,
yeah, let's do some hypotheticals. Let's do some weird shit if you want.
Let's get weird. Let's get weird.
Yeah.
And I'm hopefully working on talking to a couple potential guests for November, December, hopefully. But yeah, so yeah, thanks for tuning in. This is episode 113. What do we call it? The plan. All right. So for Tanner and myself, we'll check you on the next one.
Be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Love you, boys. Bye.